Welcome to the world awaits.
Travel tales to inspire your wanderlust.
Welcome back to the world awaits. I hope you've all had a wonderful week. How's yours been, Belle?
Oh, it's been interesting. I did a little behind the scenes visit at Melbourne Airport, which incidentally has been voted Skytrack's best airport in Australia. Can you believe it? Beat Sydney. Whoop, whoop. Anyway, sorry, Sydney. I'm not crying. You're not crying. The other reason I was at Melbourne Airport was, most appropriately, I was recording this week's interview with the host of the Point Hacks podcast, Toby Venus, and we were in a suite on the 8th floor of the Novotel Melbourne Airport, which looks out onto the runway, so we could see planes taking off as we were chatting. It was ad geek central. And if you've got a little touch of the aviation geek in you, or you might be coming to the airport from country Victoria or New South Wales and you need a night's transit stay, we actually have a giveaway of one night's accommodation for 2 people in a superior room with a full buffet breakfast. So if you are doing a little transit, or even if you just want a great night out, all you do is check in the night before, have a bite to eat in the Italian restaurant, sleep, wake up the next morning, little buffet breakfast, and then you just grab your bags and you prance across to Terminal 4 and then the other terminals behind it. It's a couple of minutes walk for the easiest and cruisiest check-in you'll ever have. So to enter the competition for this one night stay, jump on our Instagram or Facebook pages, see the giveaway post, just like the post, make sure you're following us and the Novotel Melbourne Airport, and for an extra entry, tag someone you'd like to stay with in the hotel. More details are on our website, theworldawaits.au, and we'd like to say thank you to the Novotel Melbourne Airport for offering this fantastic giveaway. And now I am going to leave the floor wide open to you, Kirstie, for you can reveal your big news.
Yes, well, I am very excited to finally tell everybody that I have signed a 2-book deal with UK publisher Bloodhound Books, which is just a for my crime fiction. So yeah, very excited and life-changing absolute moment. So my first fiction is crime fiction. It's called White Lies. So that will be coming out as a print and an audio book in the middle of next year. So yeah, this is just a dream come true, and I've just been buzzing on the inside, like a really strange, surreal feeling, just absolutely fizzing my entire body. Yeah, over this. So yeah, it's pretty exciting.
That is so fabulous. So tell us, White Lies, because I didn't even know the title of this book until like literally a week or 2 ago. And I believe you've modeled it on me, haven't you, Kirstie? Tell us. I'm holding on to this. I'm holding on to this beautiful dream that somebody writes a book about me. But you can tell me, we have mentioned it a little bit before, but tell us now, for the record, as somebody with a 2-book contract, what is your first book about?
So all I can really say at this stage is it is about a travel writer who gets kidnapped. And obviously there's a theme in there about the repercussions of telling white lies. So yeah, that's kind of all I can say at this stage. But it is crime. So it's got crime thriller elements in there. Hopefully it'll just be one of those books that will just keep, you keep wanting to turn the page. So yeah, that's sort of all I can say at this stage.
Can I just say, look, I've never killed anybody, and I don't tell lies. So apart from that, it's completely modeled on my life. Look, this is every writer's dream, basically. So how did you get to crack it to get a publishing contract? And how long did it take you? I mean, are you an overnight success?
So I mean, there's no overnight success with writing fiction because obviously it takes such a long time. But I was really fortunate in that I'm a member of the Australian Society of Authors, ASA, which what offers what's called literary speed dating. So it's sort of like you basically get 3 minutes to pitch your book, and I pitched my book to an agent, a couple of agents, and one of them asked to see it, and she read the first part of White Lies and really liked it, and then she read the full manuscript, and then she agreed to take me on, and then so she signed me, and it was through my agent that I was so fortunate to get a publishing contract. So she then pitches the book out, and then it's thanks to her that obviously that I've now been picked up. That's High Spot Literary, and so I feel really thrilled to be a member of the family, and now a member of the Bloodhound Books family. So that's how it all happened. But you can jump on over to my socials, where I've probably written about it sort of by now at the time of recording this quite extensively on socials, and I will absolutely be keeping everyone posted, but both here and on my socials as the journey goes along, because it's really exciting as a debut novelist to go through this process.
I can call you a lady novelist now, can I? Hey, lady novelist. Hey, speaking of novels.
Yes, we have the winner of our giveaway, the winner of our 2-book giveaway, which is of Andrea Barton's award-winning Jade Riley mystery series. And you can scoot on back and have a listen to me talking to Andrea. I interviewed her because her books are crime novels as well, and she writes about her expat life. So head on back and have a listen to her. And the winner of the 2 books of Andrea's first 2 books is Leah Whitfield. Woo! Well done, Leah.
Alice, please.
We will be in touch, Leah, to post out your books, and you can jump on over, anyone else, to AndreaBartonAuthor.com to learn more about Andrea's award-winning work, buy her books, and subscribe to her newsletter, because she's an incredible author.
And then we'll be able to do the same for you soon, won't we, Kirstie? Because I can't wait to see. Oh, I mean, so exciting things like book cover artwork and all of that sort of thing. I mean, all of that peripheral stuff, apart from just, actually writing the story and stuff like that. What an awesome week. Oh, my goodness. Now, we are going back to more prosaic things about travel, aren't we? Because we're talking about the world's most expensive hotel spaces. You were all waiting for this, weren't you? But what you did want to know was, which is the most expensive out of this group of the world's most visited cities. So Deluxe Holiday Homes analysed the world's most visited cities to understand the real cost of hotel space. They took the average hotel room price in 10 cities, and then they divided that hotel price by the average room size so that they were calculating the cost per square metre. I mean, this is kind of nerdy, but what it shows you is which cities charge the most for the actual space that you, the traveller, receives. And the most expensive hotel space was found in Venice, which had the smallest rooms in the study and the highest price. And that's what we're paying for.
Yes, it's actually a really interesting way to look at it. Rather than just your standard sort of what's the most expensive room, it's what you're getting for your space. Because I can remember back when Dave and I first went to Europe when we were really young, in our 20s, and gosh, some of the places we stayed, we had huge amounts of space, and they were really affordable. So it's just really interesting depending on where you go. So the point for travellers, as Deluxe Holiday Home says, is that small rooms aren't always a bad deal. But Venice, which is the most expensive city, charges $22 roughly a square metre, and that's a perfect example of what happens when space is tight and demand is huge. So staying in a 12 square metre room is basically like living in a car parking spot, and you're paying about $280. So it shows how much tourist crowds are driving up prices.
Yeah, that's an interesting price. I mean, I always thought that Rome had the absolute smallest rooms that I've ever stayed in. Whereas when, as soon as you went into Eastern Europe, you would end up with these gorgeous old sprawling places with 5 beds in them, and you echoing through the halls. But back to the top 10 most visited cities, spending a night in a New York City hotel cost the most at around $350 a night. I mean, this is obviously averaged out over a year. And but then it's also got the largest room sizes. So big rooms in New York City, big prices. Whereas Dublin offers some of the largest rooms in the study, but at the best possible prices, making it the best value for your money. So you've got the best of both worlds. Big room, smaller price.
Yeah. So Venice is the highest price, and that's followed by Paris at $15 a square metre. And that shows that while Paris isn't cheap, guests get noticeably more breathing space room for their money than you do if you are staying in Venice.
I don't know. I mean, Paris is the place of my Airbnb travesty, where I ended up teaching my 9-year-old about the sex working industry. That was an interesting in a really dodgy part of Paris. We thought we were centrally located, which we were, but also, yeah, no, you know what? Fishnet stockings are still a thing amongst. But I was in our Airbnb area, and it wasn't that cheap either. But tiny, tiny rooms. I mean, you could barely breathe. Although there was quite a bit of breathing going on in the room on the other side of the wall. Let me tell you about that.
While we're on this topic, did I tell you I had the worst experience when I was staying in Perth once? And it was so bad that I actually initially naively thought someone was rocking a baby to sleep. And then I literally could and it kind of went on and on and on, and it was going on so long I was thinking, I thought this has to be, a child being rocked to sleep. And then I ended up having to call reception and ask them to transfer me to another room. And they said, because I had to get up really early, I had to get up like 5 a.m. the next day or something. And they said, sorry, we don't have any other rooms. And I said, I'm really sorry, but it's now like midnight and you're going to have to ring them and say to them, can you please keep it quiet? Because their bed was obviously on the other side of the wall to my bed head, which I subsequently discovered after thinking it was a baby's cot being knocked against the room. Anyway, there you go. That's my story.
You are so naive. Admit it. Oh, that baby just won't go to sleep. I once had a Swedish foursome in the room next door to me. Oh my God, they were still going at 5 o'clock in the morning. And there was a shared bathroom. It wasn't great. There wasn't a lot of sleep going on. It was the only good thing about it was that nobody else spoke Swedish because we weren't in Sweden. I was in Bratislava or somewhere like that. And but the next morning, everybody in the breakfast room was glaring. They came down to have breakfast. It was like, because they were all very hungry, all 4 of them came down to the breakfast room, and everybody's sitting there with like luggage under their eyes, glaring at this foursome. And they just blissfully, because they hadn't slept, just blissfully ate breakfast, had a fabulous time, and we all just staggered off for our next day in Bratislava. Horrific. Don't get a room like that. Can I just go back to London? So in London, the French capital, like the French capital, London's average room size is just 16 square meters, a nightly rate of $2.55. And the difference in these two cities is just 3 cents per square meter. So they're nearly identical in terms of the value of what you're buying.
And fourth is Barcelona. I've never had a bad room in Barcelona or heard something untoward happening next door. And while the price is nearly identical to what travellers pay in London and Paris, the rooms are slightly more spacious. And rounding out the top 5 is New York City, which charges the highest nightly rate in the entire study. It's $350, and it rates 5th because rooms are large.
This week, my guest is tech journalist Toby Venus, who produces the Points Hacks podcast. And appropriately, we recorded this interview in a suite at the Novotel Melbourne Airport, looking out over the terminals. I mean, perfect synergy, right? I've even popped some pics up on my socials so you can see what we were looking at while we were there.
Cannot wait to hear this because I can't for the life of me redeem my Virgin points for a flight.
I know, right? So I'm like you, I am loaded with points, but I am shocking at redeeming them. So we are hacking frequent flyer points, how to earn them, how to burn them, and we're going to create a little hygiene checklist to keep your points nice and tidy and working for you. So take a listen. Toby, welcome to The World Awaits. It's so exciting to have you here. And here, I actually mean Melbourne Airport, which is where we are at the moment.
Yeah, it's quite a beautiful little room we've got here.
Yeah, absolutely. We are in the Novotel. For those who aren't looking at the video at the moment, we are in a suite in the Novotel. We're up on the 8th floor and we are looking out over Melbourne Airport. And at nearly, 9 o'clock in the morning, it's pretty busy out there. It's got cars pouring in. I actually had a clear run because sometimes you get lucky. The airport guards were smiling at me this morning. And stay tuned because we've actually got some details about a giveaway at the hotel. So if you are traveling anytime soon, this is the perfect place to come the night before, drop your bags, have dinner, have a glass of wine, and then you can wander over to the airport, just saunter across, rather than my usual modus operandi, which is to run screeching like a mad woman at the final boarding call. So
Yes. I actually stayed here before flying out to the US just when it first opened, and I can confirm the restaurant downstairs, I think it's Italian, fantastic. Like I would highly recommend coming here if you can.
it's an
Yeah.
absolutely beautiful hotel.
Mm.
And because you've got the Novotel and the Ibis Style sitting side by side, so you've got 2 price points there as well.
Mm.
So we're going to give you some details on how you can win a night here. And you know what? You could even just come and stay, even if you're not flying anywhere at the moment.
Yeah, if you love planes, it's a I'm watching a Qantas plane land right now. Yeah, so
Fantastic.
yeah.
God, love it. We are total Av geeks, so buckle up, everybody, because this is like Av Geek Central. We're talking today, Toby and I are talking about earning and burning points and how to keep. We're also going to do a little hygiene checklist about how to keep your points in good shape and working for you. And let me tell you, I am not a professional in this area, so I am all ears. I can earn for Australia, cannot burn them. So let's jump in, Toby.
Yes. Okay, what should we start with?
Let's start with the earn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great.
When you purchase a product, everything is like the total price of that product. Part of that is the marketing and distribution and everything. So when you're shopping and you're not earning points, you're basically just subsidizing points for everyone who does earn them. So I would say, why not? So let's start with the why not stuff where it takes absolutely no effort. So Woolies and Coles, I'm sure everyone's heard, you can either use Flybuys for Coles or everyday rewards for Woolies. Everyday rewards can be converted to Qantas points and Flybuys can be converted to Velocity.
That is a really good point because you've got Qantas with Woolworths and you've got Virgin and Coles. So they're your absolute base, and nothing for Aldi. If you're shopping at Aldi, forget about it.
Yeah, unfortunately, even though they have some great prices. So, I mean, if you're price sensitive and you don't want points, go to Aldi, I would say. But when you're shopping at Coles or Woolies, you can sign up for their you can sign up for their loyalty programs and automatically start earning points on everyday spend. You're really not going out of your way here. All you need to do is sign up to each program or the program that you would prefer, and start scanning at the checkout. I calculated, this is very general, but like a family of 4 might spend about $14,000 a year on groceries. So you earn 1 point per dollar spent on everyday rewards. You earn 1 point per dollar spent on Flybuys as well. And then they get transferred to half that when you transfer over to the frequent flyer programs. So you earn 2,000 Qantas points, you earn 2,000 everyday rewards points. They get converted into 1,000 Qantas points, and the same with Velocity from Flybuys. So you spend $14,000 in a year, you've already got 7,000 points just from scanning at the checkout with no extra work.
Right. Okay. So yeah, don't go for the specials. I think that's the thing. But the other thing too is that, of course, that those programs knock on. With Woolworths, you've also got BWS, you've got Big W, Whole Caltex, all of those sorts of things, and then on the Virgin side of it, then they've got their own sub programs as well.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. So you start with groceries and then you start seeing the whole world of all of our various duopolies and companies that can earn you points. You start spending $100 a week on fuel. That's another 5,200 points in your account. And pretty soon you've got enough points to fly to Perth from the eastern states, just from everyday spend. You're not using a credit card yet, and you're not engaging in the higher level stuff yet. So just by scanning whenever you purchase something, that's like my absolute number one tip. You're not going to earn a lot of points, and you certainly won't be flying business class with those, but that's a really good place to start, scanning at the checkout.
And who doesn't want a free flight anyway?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, bring it on. So that's the absolute base level when you're shopping.
Yeah.
Then, as you say, your eyes are suddenly open and you start seeing all of the possibilities past that.
Yes.
How do you take it up a notch? Like, my beautiful dream is, first class to London. So,
Yeah, okay.
please get me there on
All right.
flatbed.
We'll have to take a few more steps. So the next level up, you start to want to engaging with those shopping programs a bit more. So they've all got apps. Flybuys and Everyday Rewards both have apps. They often have bonuses that you can activate. Now, this is the thing a lot of people miss. You often have to activate them by going into the app and physically clicking activate to start getting these bonus point offers. They are quite often targeted as well. So if you haven't been to Coles for a while and haven't scanned your card, they'll start giving you bigger and bigger offers to kind of incentivize you to come back. So something I've seen a lot of people doing is kind of switching between the two to maximize the most incentives they can get out of both
Oh,
programs.
wow.
Yeah. Um, like for me, I find that Woolies offers me bonus points like 80 extra points on spinach, like stuff I'm gonna buy weekly anyway. Like they love giving me bonus points for tuna or ice cream. And sometimes it's not the brand I want, but it's close enough where I'll be like, yeah, I'll get an extra 100 points for buying some ice cream. The next thing you want to look at is now we're kind of getting into where you're having to spend a bit more time, started focusing on points, starts to become a hobby. So the next thing you kind of want to do is start looking at gift cards. There's something that I really like doing that I haven't seen a lot of people do. If you've got an extra, I know it's hard, especially at the moment, like some people don't have the cash to kind of spend in advance to purchase gift cards. But if you go to the Qantas website, you can go to their shopping portal and they sell Woolworths gift cards. And for every dollar you spend at the Qantas store, you earn 3 points per dollar spent. So by buying, I like to buy it in 500 batches. So I'll buy a $500 Woolies gift card that earns me 1,500 Qantas points straight away. Then I take that to Woolies and spend my money and earn the everyday rewards points off the dollar spent on that as well. So you start to earn closer to 3.5 points per dollar spent rather than the original 0.5 you'd earn just through everyday rewards.
Wow.
So this is like when you're starting a forward plan about how you're going to start earning points. Again, it's still all just everyday spend. So it's stuff you're going to be doing anyway, but you're just kind of planning ahead a little bit.
That's amazing.
Mm.
I did not know that about the gift cards.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of see the gift cards, and they often have deals on them in the supermarkets. But you're actually taking it to a different level, because the rule always that I've been taught is don't shop on the Qantas website because the value is not there. What you're spending your points for, as opposed to buying that kettle, tends not to. Tend not, you can get a better deal if you're just going down the high street wherever.
On top of that, I know we're not really talking about credit cards much, which is the fastest way to earn a lot of points. But a lot of Qantas credit cards also earn extra points on Qantas spend. And that doesn't mean just flights. That means literally anything Qantas sells, which includes those gift cards. So if you're purchasing these things with a Qantas point earning credit card as well, 3 points per dollar spent normally through the site, 2 points per dollar spent on your credit card, and then the 0.5 points you earn from everyday rewards. So you're up to 5.5 points, 5.5 points per dollar spent on your groceries already, which takes that, how many points was it? Like 7,000 points over your groceries for a year. Times that by 5. Now you're flying business class to Perth.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're getting close to London on my flow.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. One thing that I use quite a bit, and that is related to going to airports as well, is the tie-in that the two major programs have got with the ride-sharing carriers as well, with Uber and now Didi as well.
Yes.
In that it's Uber with Qantas and Didi with Virgin.
Yeah, only to the airport with Uber, unfortunately. To and from the airport, I believe, and I cannot get mine to work, so I do not do that, unfortunately. But yes, DD is everywhere,
Yeah.
which is great.
Yeah, which is amazing. I did notice quite a few. Actually, I was checking through my points as well, and those bonuses that you get from them, and which is pretty impressive. So let's jump into the credit cards.
Yeah.
This is where we're talking. I mean, people, can I just say, frequent flyer points is a total dark art.
Yeah.
We're going into the magician's cave at this point.
Yes. Yeah. So credit cards. So I work for Point Hacks. That's kind of how we make most of our money, is credit card referrals. So people come to the website and we'll search for a credit card, and we show them the best ones that earn the most amount of frequent flyer points. and then earn a kickback when people sign up through the bank. So that's kind of that business model. There's a lot of places that do it too. Like it's become quite popular amongst the points world to monetize that way. Um, with credit cards, they can often get you well over 100,000 points in Qantas or Velocity just for signing up. You do have to pay a fee. Some ranges from like $200 all the way up to $1,200 for one of the most like high flying ones. That's for people who earn over $200,000 a year though, so can't get that one unfortunately. But with those, you kind of want to look at how many points you're earning from that card, 100,000 points, say, and then compare it to the fee that you're paying. So let's say $349. That you can use that to calculate how many dollars per point you're paying, and then compare that against what a business class flight would cost, and kind of see if that $349 turning into 100,000 points is worth it to you. If it's not, maybe a credit card's not great for you. But I've always found that once you know how to spend the points, it kind of becomes a no-brainer, and you start taking out as many credit cards as you want. Yeah.
And does that not affect your credit rating when you're like trying to buy a house or something?
Oh, I'm a millennial. I'm not buying a house. I'm traveling.
I shouldn't be laughing, but yeah, I've blown I've blown decades traveling, which is why I don't know. I'm here now, right?
Yeah.
No.
It's fine. Yeah, not too worried about that. I'm sure it does, but I'm not the person to ask. Okay, and not credit ratings.
So the underlying the just briefly on credit cards, the key is to find out how many points you get on signing up.
Yeah.
And then how much they earn per transaction as well.
Yeah.
And thinking which are you going Qantas? Are you going Velocity? Are you going for Virgin? I mean, you've kind of got to pin your colours to the mast, or can you just play the field?
I kind of would recommend people do both. There's a lot of good reasons. There's the Coles and Woolies incentivizing you to come back reason. So you can collect in both if you are able to shop at both Coles and Woolies. But then with the cards, if you're starting to sign up for multiple cards at a time, different cards have they only give the points to new customers. So you will start getting to a point, if you get really into this, where you've actually been a customer of every bank, and then you have to start cycling back and waiting like 2 years, 18 months to become a new customer again. So that's kind of like the cutoff for when a new customer is after you've left.
Right.
So normally if you're just going for like maximum points and don't really worry about what program it's in, whether it's Velocity or Qantas, you're kind of just giving yourself many more options for bank programs and the best card offer at the time. Sometimes there are better offers for Velocity than Qantas and vice versa. So yeah, I would recommend going for both and just finding the card that gets you the most points for the least amount of money, no matter what.
Yeah, because I know that we've been talking only about Australian programs, but I have larger aspirations than that. But then that is when you start talking about the knock-on effect of who they're aligned with and which alliance, whether they're in Star Alliance, they're in One World, and how you translate your points across to that Singapore Airlines flight that you want to use, or BA to London, because excitingly, as you know, BA is coming back to Melbourne after 20 years.
Yes, yeah, announced this week. Yeah,
yeah, that was a major one. If you haven't seen it yet, British Airways is coming back into Melbourne, which is going to be so exciting. It's going to start flying from January next year. And in fact, Melbourne's getting a bit of a win as well, because they've got the first flights going out to the Maldives, going to start happening in May, and also Helsinki with Finnair. And that is brilliant too. So that just kind of opens up your world, really, doesn't it?
Yes.
So that's that's kind of like, that's the earn in a nutshell. I mean, you've also got things like, if you're using hire cars, Airbnb has got a deal with Qantas as well. Accor as well. Accor's
Oh yes, I
program as well.
love Accor, because you earn 3 Qantas points per dollar spent on your hotel, and you also earn Accor's own reward points as well, which you can transfer to Qantas if you really want. So you're kind of able to double dip just on regular hotel stays. Like, I love it. It's awesome.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's because we're in an Accor property at the moment, which is the Novotel here at Melbourne Airport. So if we were actually staying and not just flying through and recording podcasts while we're looking at the runway.
Yeah.
We could actually be earning points on this one. And
Yeah.
that seems to be one of the more significant earners as well, is it?
For hotels, I would say it is. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
That's the
Okay.
best one I've found.
All right. Note
Yeah.
to self, everybody. And I guess a big part of that is always remembering when you're checking in to present those cards as well, because you don't always get asked at every place. And then you find out that joint that you dropped a huge amount on, especially if you're doing
Yeah.
restaurant spend and all of that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah. I would highly recommend, like, for hotel loyalty programs, they're normally free to join. Just join all of them, as long as you don't worry about, like, all the data you're giving away. But I think we're well past that now in 2026. Just sign up for all of them because you do earn points at most major chains. But yes, Accor is the one that earns you Qantas points. All you have to do is link it in your Accor app and you start earning straight away, which is, yeah, I love it. It's great.
Yeah, right. Okay, great. Let's go on the other side because
Yeah.
I reckon I'm pretty good on the earning side. I've got a credit card that I don't know. I know that I need to do a hygiene checklist and check through that credit card because I've had it for a very long time. And I know that, if I'm buying stuff from, if I'm booking holidays through Luxury Escapes, they are tied in with Virgin and your travel insurer as well as, 7-Eleven and even electricity as well. Red Energy does
Yeah.
a tie-in with Qantas, which I love because it's an Australian company and it's Australian owned and it uses renewable energy. So it came out of the Snowy River hydro scheme. So
Oh, there you go.
I know, big plug for Red Energy there.
Yeah.
Though I do love them. That was a free plug. I am in no way receiving any kickback from it.
Yeah.
Although if you want to give me free electricity, please just give me a call at the podcast. So I'm great on the earn. I reckon we've covered it off really well. Burning, this is the thing. And I'm going to put a question to you that came from Kirstie, my co-host. She was like, you know what I want to know about points? What is the point of points when you can't use them for air? And she gives the example. She's going up to Port Douglas for a winter getaway because #Melbourne winter. And she was saying she was trying to book a flight up to Cairns. Virgin was going to charge her all the points they had, which was 180,000 points, and an extra $1,000 on top of it. And she was like, that seems like a really raw deal. And instead, she bought a couple of seats with Jetstar, which I think cost $1,200 all up. So 180,000 points. What is going on there?
Yeah, that is the thing that puts people off points immediately, especially if they're new to it, because you jump on the websites and both airlines really love trying to show you ways to use points that aren't actually the most economical for you. They're trying to, take their points back at as low a cost to them as possible. So there's all these dark patterns on their websites to kind of funnel you down these things that make you spend a lot more points than you need to. There is a thing called Points Plus Pay, which I have a feeling Kirstie has run into, where they basically funnel you to the end of the booking page, and there's like a slider where it's just like slide it all the way up, and it's like there's all my points, slide it all the way down, there's the total cash fare. That isn't how you spend points. That's how they want you to spend them, but that's not how you spend points. What you want to be looking for with both Qantas and Velocity is reward flights. These are not, they're not available on every single flight, so you have to be flexible and search a bit more, but they will clearly mark them on the website that they are reward flights. And these are actually, the prices of them are all based around distance flown. So it's a set price, which you can look up on their websites, both of them, where that is what a reward flight costs. So I'm going to use one example, which I'm going to look up right now. Say we're flying to Melbourne to Sydney, very common flight. So that's zone 1, 0 to 600 miles. That will always cost 9,200 points in economy. If it costs more than that, that's not a reward flight. So you have to look for those.
Yeah, right. How rare are they? Are they like unicorn flights? You do hear people arguing about this on those forums a lot.
For domestic flights, I've found they're actually quite easy to find. they obviously become harder to find the less frequented the flight is. So Melbourne to Sydney is actually quite common because they fly every half hour on both airlines.
Yeah, one of the busiest routes in domestic routes in the world.
Yeah. I've found them kind of hard to get on like the best times to take those flights where it's like comfortable for everyone. They're normally sold out on cash fares. But if you're flying at 7 a.m. in the morning, normally there'll be a reward flight available for you. It becomes a little bit harder when you start moving into business class because they only release like 2 to 4 seats per flight, if that, and not on every flight, only on the ones where they're like, we probably won't sell all the business class out. So I found between Perth, Melbourne and Sydney, super easy. But once you start flying internationally, that's when things get really competitive and you have to start getting really deep in the weeds on how to find this stuff. Yeah, that's when it becomes a bit more of a hobby as well.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Are there any particular rules? I mean, it's harder to find in school holidays, I imagine,
Yes.
or they even block them out
Oh,
at that point.
Yeah, peak travel times, chances go down considerably. I mean, an example, like I'm going to Japan next week. What's next week? It's cherry blossom season. Like they're in full bloom. Like there were no reward flights at all. Like economy, business, nothing.
Don't tell me you paid full price.
No, this is actually getting pretty deep in the weeds, but if you're platinum with Qantas, you can call up and request them to release reward flights to you, which is an awesome perk. It's also not published on their website, but like people who are platinum know about it because everyone talks about it. So it's not like a secret. But you can call up and request, hey, I want a business class flight at the reward price. Can you release it to me? They don't always, but often if they've got a seat available that they haven't sold a fare on, they'll give it to you.
Do you have to be like a silver or like shiny platinum gold? I mean, does my skanky bronze thing no status points?
Yeah, it has to be platinum or above. Yeah.
Right.
So that's how I got those flights. But if I didn't have that, I would have been paying thousands of dollars for an economy fare with Qantas because like they jack the prices up.
Yep.
They don't have reward seats. Like there's nothing you can do. Yeah.
Do they release do they release them in advance? Like is there a season for them, or how far in advance do they release them?
Yeah, so typically I believe Qantas is 350 days in advance for their flights. And their partner airlines like those in Oneworld, like and partners like Emirates, they often release around the same kind of schedule. So if you're like super keen on flying business or first specifically, the ones that get snapped up straight away, you kind of want to be logging in 355 days in advance before your trip, which I mean, like I'm not planning that far ahead, so it becomes very difficult. If you're able to plan that far ahead, that's when you start to get a real advantage on reward flights because a year out, you're able to see them all. Like you'll see most of their releases. Now they don't always do this. Sometimes they do big batches as promotions. Sometimes they'll drop them like a couple of weeks out before the flight goes if they've got extra seats that they need to get bums on. So it's not always that rule anymore, but it's enough where you can kind of bank on being able to do that a year out and have much greater access to flights. Yeah.
Right. So I think the key thing there is the key thing on earning is do not take the points and pay option on them. Like look for the seats only.
Yeah. Classic rewards or reward seats on Velocity. Classic rewards are marked by red ribbons. That's how you know on Qantas, and with Velocity, it's like a little stamp above the price.
Yeah, and that's the one you're chasing. Now we're going to do a quick hygiene checklist.
Yes.
And what should I be doing? I should actually be looking back through my credit card to see if it is the best one that I've got if I've had it for a long time.
Yes. Yeah. Look at your credit card options. There's some great options right now with the banks because the RBA might be changing some surcharge rules this month. They haven't done that yet, but right now, great time to get a credit card. So highly recommend doing that. You want to be looking at bonus points and earn per dollar spent. 1 point per dollar spent is great. 2 points on Qantas spend is great as well. And Velocity has the same thing. You can get 2 points per dollar on Velocity spend. Next thing I would start looking at is every store that I go to, do they offer points? You don't obviously you don't go to stores that are more expensive if they offer points, because you might not be getting all the value back. But if you frequent places like Bunnings, Officeworks, Coles, obviously, scan your Flybuys card, and the same with Woolies and there are other various companies like BWS and stuff. I would also recommend, so if you're like one of those organized people that check their finances like every Sunday or whatever, I know some people do that.
I'm really not.
No, neither. But like add another 10 minutes and check your points hygiene, because you could be, if you go to a website called freepoints.com, not affiliated with them, they do a really good job of just showing all the bonus point offers for the week. And some of those things are as simple as just signing up to a program like DD when they launched, offered like 1,000 points just for linking your account.
Yep.
So there's plenty of points that you can just get for free with like 10 minutes of work every week. So I would highly recommend doing that as well. And none of that involves having a credit card. So even if you aren't in the position to get a credit card, there's plenty of ways to get points.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm going to double down on this one, and I'll report back about that. Look, maybe not first class, but possibly a flat seat somewhere,
absolutely.
anywhere. I don't care. Flat seat to Perth sounds great. So my last question to you is, tell me about your most bizarre travel experience.
Yeah, okay. So I got asked to film a wedding in Fiji back in 2018. So like my background is videography. I shot a music video for a guy, and then his wife was like, they have to film our wedding. So me and my friend flew over to Fiji, and I heard the diving was really good there. So I'm not a strong swimmer, and I'm also terrified of drowning. So I was like, I'm gonna try and like conquer this fear. I'm gonna go and train up diving in Sydney when I was living there. So I was going to Botany Bay every morning to like do the training over a week. Got to Fiji and was like, I'm gonna do a shark dive as my first dive. So
What could possibly go wrong?
yeah, like cross off all the fears straight away, and then everything else will be smooth sailing. When you first get your diving license, do you have your diving license?
No, I've dived, but I don't have a license.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you first get it, you get open water, which is 18 meters.
Yep.
So you're not really meant to go below 18 meters under sea level. And when I signed up for the shark thing, it was like, oh, beginner's welcome, totally fine. I get there and they're like, we're going 42 meters underwater. And I was like, are you sure you want to bring me? Because this is my first dive outside of training. And they're like, oh yeah, no worries, bro. It's fine. Come on. So we go underwater, go into this place where there's hundreds of sharks. It was like one of the coolest things I've ever seen. But just like hundreds of sharks swimming around. And the number one rule was like, don't touch them, which makes sense.
Yep.
But like I'm down there and I just had a moment of like, I just kind of properly, and I just like reached my hand out to like touch one.
Oh.
And the guys who were running the dive were all like lined up behind us while we were lying on these rocks. So as I reach out to touch one, this guy smacks me in the back of the head with a spear to be like, don't do that. But he kind of like overshot how much force he needed to put into it, and he smacked me in the back of the head so hard that my vision went blurry. Fairly sure I got a concussion. So I just started like freaking out because I'm like surrounded by sharks, got smacked in the back of the head, can't see it. Water's starting to fill up into my into my goggles and the mask and everything. And then my suit started to inflate. And I just had completely forgotten how to dive after being smacked in the back of the head.
Yeah.
So I went from 42 meters and just my thing filled with air, and I just shot up to the surface, which I'm sure most people know you shouldn't do. You need to have stops to acclimatize. I get up, still can't really see anything. Water in my eyes. Look around, can't find the boat. Guy like grabs me, drags me by the leg, pulls me back down to 20 meters, and I just like couldn't work out what the hell was going on.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So they brought me back up onto the boat, and I felt terrible, very dizzy because I just shot up so many meters. And then they're like, all right, let's go to the next one. And I did it, but I haven't dived since. I want to try again, but man, that was a real trial by fire as your first dive.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That is incredible. I'm so pleased that you're here to tell the tale.
Yeah. Still terrified of drowning. I got a great photo of a shark though while I was down there.
Oh,
So I'm
good.
very happy.
Because, I mean, like, that's the most important thing, because if there was no photo, then it didn't happen.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I can't remember it very well.
I love it. That is possibly one of the most bizarre of the bizarre.
Oh, great.
Yeah, there
Do I
you
get a
are.
pass?
You get a gold pass.
Yeah.
Toby, thanks so much for joining us on The World Awaits. Absolutely loved being here in the Novotel at Melbourne Airport, checking out the planes as they're taking off. And now we're going to go and walk out onto the tarmac with them. So thanks again for hacking the earn, the burn, the bold and the beautiful with points.
Yeah, no worries. And if anyone wants to learn more about points, I run the Point Hacks podcast. I produce that and I'm the host of it. So I ask my colleagues questions because they're much better at answering this stuff than I am. So we go through basically everything you need to know about points in absolute detail. So if you want to learn more, definitely check us out on YouTube or any of your favorite podcasting platforms.
Brilliant. Thanks so much.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay.
That was Toby Venus of the Points Hack podcast, talking to Belle about how to hack your frequent flyer points. For more, listen to Toby at pointhacks.com.au. If you'd like to help support our production costs, you can buy us a coffee at coffee.com/theworldawaits. That's ko-fi.com/theworldawaits, so we can continue to bring you inspirational travel interviews with the world's best.
Our tip this week is for those of you flying to Europe after the 10th of April, when new border rules could mean longer airport queues. So the European Union is rolling out its new entry-exit system, or the EES, across Schengen airports, the Schengen area airports, which covers 29 European countries, as well as Iceland, Liechtenstein, Norway and Switzerland. It means non-EU nationals, including Australians, will see traditional passport stamps replaced with digital biometric registrations. That means visitors from all those non-EU countries will now have their fingerprints and facial images recorded for the first time they enter these regions under the new system. It is a new system for Europe. It's not a new system for many other countries. I mean, I've had my fingerprints recorded at plenty of entry points, including India and Turkmenistan. So not new around the world, but new to the EU.
So Saily eSIM provider says while the scheme is designed to modernise border controls and tighten security, the early days of the rollout could bring some delays, especially at busiest hubs like, Paris, Rome, Barcelona and Amsterdam. And the changes mean that passport stamps will gradually disappear. I don't know that I always get passport stamps anyway these days, but anyway. First-time travellers under the system must register biometric data, and that means what Belle said before, which is fingerprints and facial photos. And airports may introduce new self-service kiosks and border checks, which can take longer during that transition period.
Saily says the biggest impact is expected during peak arrival windows and joy of joy, school holiday periods, when thousands of passengers land within minutes of each other. And with April marking the start of Europe's high season for city breaks and long weekends, queues could build up. But Saily says whenever there's a new airport system launching, there is a natural adjustment period. So travellers should allow extra time at arrivals and be prepared for slightly slower border checks, particularly if it's your first time under the new system.
Yeah, so basically the Saily's tips are exactly what Belle just said. Allow extra time for arrival, especially for tight connections. No running late, Belle. Keep passports open and ready at border control. Follow airport signage carefully, as some terminals may introduce new lanes. And ensure that you've got good mobile connectivity, of course, because you need to be able to access those boarding passes, transfer tickets and live travel updates. Next week, we're doing another hot take, and this time we're talking very frankly about the impact of the Middle East crisis, fuel prices impacting road trips, the rerouting of flights, and the rise of localised travel.
And we'd love it if you followed us on socials. You'll find us at The World Awaits podcast on Instagram, Facebook and LinkedIn. And feel free to drop us a line at hello@theworldawaits.au. Or if you are enjoying this episode, please give us a rating or a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. That's a wrap for The World Awaits this week. Click to subscribe anywhere you listen to your favourite pods.
Thanks for listening. See you next week.